Hello and welcome to the Say Yes Movement podcast with Heather and John. Hey everybody. Hey Heather, how's it going today?
It's going good. Oh, I slept like a baby last night, John. It was so good to get that presentation that we did yesterday, the master class, out of my brain and into the universe. So I slept
Yes.
so good. How about yourself?
No, I'm with you. By 11 I was out. I was like, I gotta go to bed. I'm like, I just gotta get some rest. I don't know. Just when you're like so pumped up and you got all this build up and it's like, so now it's time to rest. Yeah, it was good. It was good. I was really happy with what we were able to do yesterday. Just like you said, release it out into the universe, share that out, and the comments that we received throughout have been fantastic as well. So, in our mission to go out and offer value to 1 million people this year, I believe we're definitely getting there through the work that we're doing. So I'm really happy, very very happy about that. So today is Friday. It's Celebration Friday. What are you celebrating this week, Heather?
Well, I'm celebrating that we built our first digital course, and that was a fun process and a little bit scary. Even us, we get a little bit nervous doing videos and, putting our message out there. And it seems like it's easy, but it's not always easy. So I'm celebrating that process and just the two of us, supporting each other and saying, hey, fix this, do this, slow down. And I'm just really grateful, John, that I have you as a coach and a partner in my life for our Say Yes Movement podcast and everything else that we create. Because you're right, if we want to impact 1 million people this year, you're not doing that alone. It's a ripple effect that we need to create. So I'm celebrating us today.
Yes, no, I'm with you. I'm going to go with the same celebration. Not that I want to cheat or copy, but yeah, no, going out, creating this digital course, sharing it out to the world, having an offering where people can actually build their communication skills, become confident communicators. I think we come off pretty confident. And actually, I just got the video from the event that I did on Tuesday, so I'm going to share that out with everybody. I just uploaded it up to YouTube. And when I went back and I looked at it, I was like, wow, what a difference. And even Diane said, she looked at the video and she's like, you look really natural. And it's like she
Ooh.
was surprised, right? And it's just getting into that habit, being consistent with just following through. And one of the things that you said that we're doing every week, Monday to Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, is doing this. This is where we talked about practice, right? It's one of the elements that we talked about in our workshop, in our webinar yesterday. And practice is something that we're doing every 3 times a week at a minimum, if not more, where we're just getting out there, getting our message out there, delivering it to the world. And the more you practice, the easier things become.
The easier
And
they
this
come.
is,
Well, and
yeah.
I have to talk about this video that you're posting. So as we were building the landing page for our Confident Communicator course, there was a picture of you that is, I think it's still there. I don't know if you've taken it down, but it's an older picture. And I said it doesn't look like you. And actually the picture of me doesn't look like me either, because we've gone on this amazing transformation journey for our own health. And that is a person that wanted to be who we are today. And so
Mm.
we're honoring those people because it's part of our journey. But I said to you, hey, why don't you take a clip from the speech you just did? And your response was really important to share with our audience, because I know this happens all the time. Your response was, but I'm wearing a hoodie. So what? So what? You're wearing a hoodie. Great. That's awesome. And so, and I share that story, John, because even when we teach this stuff, we are still
Mm.
the students of what we teach, because we still have that. Is that the right persona? Is that the right vision that we want to have of ourselves? But I love that you've watched it and see the transformation, not only in your speaking
Yeah.
engagement, but how you stand, your confidence, your body language, your shoulders were back. And you didn't even prep for that one, like, at
Yes.
all.
Well,
It,
yes and no. So let me preface that. I didn't prep for it in the moment like I would normally do when I'm preparing for any sort of presentation, but I've been living it, right? And one of the things
mm-hmm.
that is a great reminder, and for those of you that are listening right now, if you are living what you talk about, then it's easy. right?
Mhm.
So for me, that particular talk was all about saying yes. It was saying yes to opportunity. It's also how other people said yes to opportunity, taking and facing their fears and their challenges. So this is, I'm like, how can I not talk about what I live every
So really, you've been practicing for like months,
day?
months and months and months.
Months. I kind of feel like it's been my whole life, right?
Yes.
And I had that speech where I talked about saying yes in the moment to doing 300 speeches and 365 speeches in a year. Just saying yes to things that terrify you, say yes to things that scare you, because that's where all the goodie is. Like that's where all the gold is. That's where all the enrichment in your life, everything you really want is really saying yes to that. So
Mm.
yeah, I'm so happy. Yes, you're right. One of the things when I get on stage, I have a particular look and a particular feel. I'm always in a blazer, in a dress shirt. But this was different. I was in a hoodie and a t-shirt, right? Something that was not normal for me, and I'm like, oh, how am I going to feel being up on stage like that? But going back to what we talked about yesterday, it's about the audience. It wasn't about me,
Yes, it wasn't about
right?
you.
It wasn't about me, and I just let that go. And I said, well, this isn't about me. This is about them, making sure that they get some good value, some good entertainment in the 2.5 minutes that I have, and really sharing a message of yes, sharing a message of growth and empowerment. So yes, as
Maybe
soon
this
as
is your new uniform. Maybe like the blazer's going to take a back seat because and think about it, right? People want to see themselves in what
Mhm.
others are doing. So, how's the easiest way to make that connection? It's making sure that we look like a version of them that either they feel connected to or that they aspire to. So, stepping up in a hoodie means it's really casual and it's really connected. So I love it. I love that
Yeah,
transformation and that evolution that's happened for you, but also that you even had that thought, just 24 hours ago. Like, I don't know if I can use that picture. And I have the same ideas as well. But it's the messy moments that actually make the
mm,
connection, or the more casual human moments that make the biggest impact.
yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that Diane said. She goes, you just you. It's like you're talking to just one person. You're having a conversation at a dinner
Did
table.
she listen to our course yesterday?
So, you know, well, she lives it. She lives this with me, right?
Yeah.
So she knows, and I know Patrick lives it with you. So they get to see us from a different perspective, right? They have a
Yes.
different view on the world in terms of, but they know how we are, right? And it to me, I know it's growth for me when she says, "Wow, that was good," right? So not that she doesn't think I'm good. She thinks I'm fantastic. But there are moments where you start to see those little pieces of growth, those little pieces of, wow, look at that change and transformation that you've gone through. It's not forced. Like it's just, you know, the way I want to explain it. Actually, one of the other speakers, Van, my good friend Van, was up on stage just 2 or 3 people before me. And he talks about when you talk from the heart, it just flows,
It just
right?
flows.
There's no resistance. It's not difficult. It just, you're speaking from the heart.
Hmm.
So, and I think that's the place where that talk came from, right? I wasn't worried about what people thought about me for the first time ever. I'm like, I don't really care. I'm in a hoodie. Yes, it's not my usual thing. And I just got up there and I spoke from the heart, right? Really around adding value back to that audience that was in the room, right?
Well, and it's
So,
few
yeah.
decisions that you had to make to get there, John. One, I'm putting my name in that hat to speak. Two, I'm where like you could have used the hoodie excuse a million times. Oh, I'm not wearing my
Hmm.
blazer today. No, I'm not going to put my name in. Oh, I didn't prep for anything. No, I'm not putting my name in. Oh, I don't have any of my friends in the crowd that will cheer me on. I don't know anybody here. I'm not putting my name. Like all of these things could have been what had you not say yes. And all you did was say, I live and breathe saying yes, and I have to step into
Hmm.
saying yes because this is going to help me grow. And yes, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
talked about communication and being a confident communicator, but it doesn't have to be communication it's the confidence and how to build that confidence. And I think, when we do less of what takes our confidence away, then when it's time to actually step into our confidence, it's already there as a gift for us. So, what are the things that you're doing that actually are not taking your confidence away, that's making you feel successful? And that way, when that moment comes, you're like, yep, I'm saying yes, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, and then it comes down to just being a mindset, right? Like this is no matter what happens, I'm going to say yes, right? Like if it's going to scare me, I want to say yes. If I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to say yes, and it just creates a whole new world for you, right? And actually, I was coaching somebody yesterday, and I said, when you say yes to opportunities, when you say yes to a different way of thinking, different things start to show up for you. But the truth is, they don't start to show up. They've always been there. You just never saw them. It's almost like
Mm-hmm.
you have blinders on. It's like, okay, I'm here. But when you say yes and you take that opportunity to grow, that opportunity to push yourself outside your comfort zone, the blinders go away. It's like, ooh, wait a minute. Now I'm seeing things that have always been here that I just didn't notice. And this is where I think the yes part is incredibly important. And we created a whole podcast called Say Yes, right? We called it the Say Yes movement. I got to share that with at least 300 people, just a few days ago. But it's so important, right? Like it's just, I think if people just took a minute to realize what they've said yes to and what's come of it in their lives and how it's changed because of it, communication, leadership, it doesn't matter what part of, what pillar of leadership you're working on, but it really just starts to change your life, right? Like it really starts to shift it in a really, really big way. And I know both of us have seen that, being leaders inside of an organization and now entrepreneurs, like it just, our whole life shifts, right? Like, wow, yes, yes.
Yes. And I want to just preface, right? So say yes to the right things. Say yes to the things
Mm-hmm.
that are going to build you towards your goal. So having that clarity of where you want to go. Me and you put out a goal. We want to impact 1 million people. So we're going to do things and say yes to things that are going to help us get there. But that also does mean that we're going to say no to some things that aren't going to help us, that aren't going to
Mm-hmm.
serve us and our audience and the people that we want to impact. So remember, saying yes to something is not saying yes to everything. It's saying yes to create the movement that's going to get you towards your goals, to get you to that next version of you. So have that, and you don't need to know how. Me and you both don't know how we're going to get to 1 million people, but we're going to get there because every day we're saying yes to things that are going to get us closer and closer and closer. And the podcast downloads are increasing. The messages for our masterclass series are landing. People are signing up for the courses. The momentum is happening, and we're going to get there, but we're doing it one step at a time by saying yes. And
Yes.
it's not by accident that the Say Yes movement is what we chose. We kind of fell into that idea because we both said yes to doing LinkedIn Lives, and that was by accident, but nothing's by accident. It's all supposed to be happening.
I think it's the universal plan, right? Like there's a plan that sits outside of us in terms of what we're supposed to be doing with our lives and how we're supposed to be contributing and giving back. And I think that was just one of the things that fell into the lap, into our laps, right? Like just, when I think back, and really it wasn't that long ago, it was just in November, you weren't well. You were supposed to
I
be,
had COVID, yes.
you had COVID, and we think about all those moments where things could knock us down and just take us out, right? And instead of doing that, we just took the opportunity to say, well, because actually what people might not know is you were supposed to be traveling that week.
That's right.
So I believe you were supposed to be going to Ireland, and you couldn't go anymore. And now it's like, oh, I got time. All right, so let's do a call every day this week.
Well, and
Say yes.
I think here's another part, right? So you could have been like, as a friend, you could have said,
Mhm.
"Oh, that's so sad, Heather. I'm so sorry for you," and you could have coddled that moment. But that's not who you are to me. You said, "Oh, wow, that's great that you have COVID. Let's use this as fuel, and you've got nothing better to do than be sick.
Mhm.
So how about you just do LinkedIn Live with me 5 days a week?" Like who says that to a person that is COVID? You do, because you see the vision, you see the future, and as coaches, that's what we do. We see the potential that people are not seeing themselves. And honestly, like I was like, I'm just gonna stay in bed for a week. Like this is what I'm gonna do. And you're like, well,
Yeah.
no, you're not, Heather. That is not what you're gonna do. I'm not gonna let you squander this time. And I'm like, okay, like, and I just needed a little nudge. I needed a little push. Would I have done that on my own? Absolutely not. I would have crawled up on the
Yeah.
couch. I would have put a blanket over my head and I would have been like, I have COVID, and milked it for the week that I would have felt that not so good. And so, who in your life is giving you those little nudges? And I think on a Friday, reach out to those people and say, I loved this little nudge. I've never told you that this nudge was exactly what I needed at exactly that right time. And are you the one that's giving nudges to anyone in your life? And just little ones, just little tiny nudges to say, I see your potential. I see who you want to be. And let me give you a little push to get there. So thank you,
Yeah.
John.
So let me talk about the nudge for a second, right? Because I think there's people that are out there that are nudging people in their family all the time, right? Nudging their kids, nudging their spouses, nudging their partners. Um, the nudges need to come from a place of love, right? So I just want to preface that, because a nudge isn't about, well, you're not doing anything with your life and you should be doing something, you're wasting your life.
Correct.
It's not about that, right? So the nudge for you, and I think back, the nudge was, listen, you're out, but you're not completely out. You still got some energy. So if you're open to it, let's just take 20 minutes, a half an hour every day. Let's just talk through this, right? And you're like, yeah, I could do that. I could muster, I have the energy for that. And then you can go and rest. And I think that's what you did for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
So the nudges come from a place of knowing, I'm here for you. I'm here to support you. And this is coming from a place of love.
Well, and
Because
you broke it down, right? So if you knew what my goal was. You knew my goal was to make an impact. So you nudged me towards my own goal, not towards any other thing that you wanted to achieve. Now, if you would have said, John, oh, Heather, yay, you've got COVID. Let's do a LinkedIn Live 5 days a week. And then we're going to do a podcast. And then we're going to do a masterclass. And then we're going to do this. And then I would have been like, whoa. That's too much. But that's what we've done. That's what Say Yes did. And we've taken new steps. But if you would have opened that possibility, I would have just put the blanket over my head and said, absolutely not. So the nudge needs to be towards the person's goals, honoring who they are, and a small bite-sized piece that they can say yes to.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I just wanted to say that, because I'm sure people are, I'm going to go nudge everybody.
No, don't do that.
No, don't do that. And not everybody wants to be nudged, right? So you have to kind of know the person well in terms of how much you can push them. But sometimes it's just a matter of sharing your own personal experience in terms of what's happening. If you want, share our experience with them. Take this particular episode, share it out with them and say, hey, look, I listened to something really cool. I thought you might be interested in this. And that just might be the nudge. So there's different ways of nudging people. And Felicia, I just wanted to say thank you. Yes, you just acknowledged that if we didn't say yes to this, we wouldn't be here today.
That's right.
So, and it's Felicia, you're a super fan. I just want to say thank you for having you here almost every episode. So it's so great to have you on the live and just being a part of this. This is, you're a part of this as well, right? And so Heather and I, yes, we're doing all the talking, but you're here, right? And it's your engagement that keeps us going. So I wanted to acknowledge and say thank you. Listen, it's still gratitude month for me. It's day 28. And I just wanted to express gratitude to you, Felicia, for being a consistent supporter of the Say Yes Movement podcast. So yeah, wow. Okay, so we are coming down to time. So there's a couple of things. So the actionable takeaway, and I think, Heather, you already mentioned this, go give that loving nudge to somebody who really needs it today. Somebody that you see is kind of sitting on, I'm going to say like the fence, and it's like, ooh, shouldn't I, do I keep them going? If you feel that it's right, then go give them the nudge, right? Like, and do it from a place of love, do it from a place of caring, do it from a place where they're empowered to be able to go do that thing. And again, the other part of it, and Heather, you talked to this, is go say thank you and express some gratitude. It's still a month of gratitude for us. So go express gratitude to the person that gave you the nudge. So, take the time, because sometimes that one thing can change everything,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I know both of us, we've seen that. And I'm so grateful that, we have the opportunity to be here. Yes, and Gunjan, yes, you're super fan as well. Thank you. I
That's
know you're here
fantastic.
supporting us as we go through this, but I can't believe this. We're already at time. All right. So remember to celebrate. It's Friday, Celebration Friday. Take an opportunity to do that, and then go give somebody a loving nudge, or go share how somebody supported you, giving you a loving nudge to become who you are today. Okay. So thank you. And that is it for today's episode.
Awesome.
Just remember, when you master your mindset, when you master your mindset, you shift your life. Wishing you all a great one, everybody. See you on Monday. Take care.
Bye, everyone.